What is everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency, Monday Night Live, Idaho4. Let's review Molly's time at 1122 again. And then I got some bonus stuff for you guys. When I say bonus, I'm talking boner. So those of you guys that have been watching my coverage, Idaho4, Molly, I have it all queued up here. Wanted to hear again the sounds that go on while Molly's at the house or in the area. So we're going to do that. So welcome, members, subscribers, lurkers. At some point, you're going to have an opinion, either thumbs up or thumbs it down. I'll never tell you how to think. You do that all by yourself. Here we go. This is at 3:44 and 31 seconds. Also give a shout out here. I'm using this from our buddy over there, Outcast. That's the version. All right. So Molly's going to whip it up, come on up through at like 3:46. All right, 3:46. Here we go. Right there. All right, so clearly what you can tell is that ever since Molly's vehicle comes up in the area, before we were just hearing like, nothing, just like that dull sound of nothing. And then Molly gets there, I just heard two dog barks. It also seemed like at some point, if a door or something had opened, that you can hear like some type of what sounds to me is like some type of like music sound, but you guys determine that on your own. We are at 3:47 and 25 seconds. Okay, we hear all that, right? We hear all of this. Um, Now, before she came, between like 3:43 and 3:46, you can just sit there and there is nothing. Okay, she's there, and now you can hear all of this. I mean, this is conversations. That car back there going so slow. That sounds like a car of some sort. Car. There's Molly. Allegedly Molly. Just standing there. Again, I want to rewind that just a second. Okay, do you see when she's walking, you don't see any light? When does she turn that on? Does she have it on? I'm trying to see if she has it on when she's there. Right there, she turn it on. Like what? She's supposedly trying to look for like the numbers. You know what I mean? And then when you can see right here when she turns around and she just puts it down. She just puts it right back down to her by her side. I don't care what anybody says. She knew to come and get on this camera. Do you guys know that not a single person walks like this? Like, when have you yet watched this and anybody else's voice that you hear or somebody's like going to be running? Who is walking down the middle? Where's anybody walking their dog when they come home? Well, no, we do it back over here. We go over here. We don't see people ever like even like crossing the street to run from one house to the other. They're all staying on like their own side. Like there's nobody like walking down the middle of the road. Why? I don't know how anybody can say I walked down the middle of the street so I can see the numbers of the houses. Like you can't. You'd want to be like, and if you are trying to like, why didn't she look back to see like what this house was right here, this balcony? I mean, it's just bizarre, bizarre that she walks right to there. I'm lost. And now she will stay literally there in the area, claiming to do God knows what. 8 minutes. She's already been there since 3:46 and some change. But what are you doing? Like, truly, what are you doing? No, there's the car again. What is up, Robin? Thank you so much. Cash App. Merry Christmas. Remember, this is the person that's leaving at 3:53. And according to her, this is the person that she claims is, remember, spiky blonde hair, all that description type of thing. And later on, Payne claims it's going to be somebody that's in an SUV. Um, there is no real report that goes to like how he truly knew that, or like that he wrote up a report saying I then interviewed that person. We haven't seen anything like that in the discovery. But Payne says that based on the geofence and that we believe that's an SUV and it belonged, that they got to the bottom of that supposedly somehow, but there's no report on that. So what, the FBI do that? I mean, back towards the car. Now it's going a lot faster. Those are those car sounds. What's the car sound? Car. What I'm in the process of doing right now is taking all of Molly's words that she when she closes her eyes to do her little, okay, this is how I did this, this is what I did, all of her own words from the moment that she pulls in and everything that's going on. That's what I'm mashing up right now is Molly's statements of what she was doing and looking at this. And so she's going to be narrating what's going on. I don't know what music Molly's talking about that she like hears like music playing. She's she's rolling. Yeah, here we go. And now this is the other option of is this the guy that Molly, remember according to Brett Payne, so I'm going to be having like his portion where he's talking about um, that this car basically pulls in behind Molly and then it's the Elantra. And it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude? Do you have a camera that we do not have? Like, I just cannot believe that. There is nothing. There's no evidence to say that that car pulled in behind Molly, but Molly just didn't realize it. It doesn't, does it? It doesn't sound like the other cars. 1000%. I agree with that. That car that time doesn't sound like the other ones. Molly's full of shit. Car sound. Okay. That that car leaving right there at 358. That sounds nothing like the Elantra on all those other trips around. Like I will literally fight anybody on that. Like my ears can hear. That sounds nothing like the other three circlings. Again, that's all I can tell you is that 356 to 358 loop de loop. No, that is not the same car. It's not the same sounding car. Listen, it's like a hybrid, right? What they get you in those hybrids? Oh, okay, it's crazy. Look at back there. It's like, look at that. It's like inching, dude, inching. You see, it's inching back there, and now somehow turns around, and because it has to get on that 401 camera over by Ridge Road. You hear that noise? It's is that Molly coming to pull into the driveway? Which is claiming. There you go. The car turned around, come back. Hear that? That's Molly. Okay, now I want you to remember something. Remember how Molly told everybody when she's doing that interview, she's like, I like sped out of there. I got the hell out of there. Remember? You guys, I'm going to play this again. This person is not speeding out of anywhere. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, yeah, she didn't speed up out of there. Okay. The car that was actually leaving, that was the 353 car, they want to say belonged to somebody else. That car was speeding out of there. But look at the way she leaves. This is speeding out of there. I don't think this is speeding down there at all. But now think about how crazy this is. She mentions how she just sped away, right? Which she didn't. Yet the car that leaves at 420, that motherfucker is speeding away, right? How would she know that? Like, what are the odds? Molly is Molly. Molly, you make me think that we're talking about Eldor Gatchel here, and you're in a different vehicle. I swear, because you did not speed away, and I would love to know. She claims that she came from, the campus way. She didn't come from the Walenta way to like get there. Well, that's interesting. You know what that means? That's Molly. Molly's vehicle. That right there. All right, now let's see if we can listen to when the person who supposedly got the DoorDash Came downstairs, opened up the door, grabbed the food. Let's see if we can hear anything. So, or does this happen when Molly's pulling away? I mean, she took her picture, or she said like delivery by so she had to click something at 3:59. No, I've never seen one. There's no there's no pic that I've seen um, of the food or anything like that. No. All right, now let's go. All right, now let's listen for everything that goes down from this point until. Okay, so you can see over to the left. You see some headlights over there, and that means that the car's coming actually down the hill next to the house. Don't worry, I count them. Right there. What was that? Can't remember what they told us. Xana's on TikTok at 412, but really was at 312. But hey, so let's listen here during 412. Okay, so thinking about this, if she took the food straight to her room and she was eating in her room, right? And she was like, "Okay, I've had enough. I'm not going to eat anymore. So I'm going to take it back to the kitchen." Right? Now think about this. She would have to have run into Brian Kober like before actually she got to the kitchen, because if she was in the kitchen and he's coming down the stairs, and so she's in the kitchen and he goes that way, what's she going to do? Try to run past him, or wouldn't she like try to go out the door, like the slider? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless she thought that it was a joke or whoever that was, like, to get scared, whatever. But what tells me that the food wasn't in her hands and stuff like that is because of where the fries were just right on top of the microwave. Nothing was on the floor. Um, it wasn't like the food was all, you know, disheveled on the ground. Okay, so that sounds like, to me, it sounds like a car. But what we're gonna rewind is 5 seconds right here. At 4:13, hear that? And so what I was able to find is, guess what there's on I was able to locate in a report at 413 and some change, but I don't know how this would ever pick it up. But they say that at 412 to 413 on the Ridge Road camera, 1125, that there's a vehicle going one way or the other at 412 or 413 a.m. I'm trying to get my hands on that as we speak. This is just interesting that what you hear about here at this time, if there was a car that was going past on Ridge at that time, and if it was heading up and around to like come towards the back of there of the Walenta area, I'm just curious that sound. I'll rewind it here. So it's like at 4:13 and like 13 seconds. Right there. I don't think that's a scream. Oh, you heard? Yeah, Mark. Thank you. That vehicle is eastbound. Thank you. Perfect. Then, Mark, really quick with that. Thank you. Then that 1000%, that car that's coming eastbound, I'm telling you, it's going towards. It's seen on that camera. There's an image of a vehicle at 4:12 or 4:13 a.m. on the 1125 Ridge Road cameras. Okay, I want you to pay attention. Up over here in the left hand corner, you're going to see a light come on. So it's 4:14, 38 seconds. Watch this. Right there, light. And it kind of dims. Okay, you hear that? Right there. I don't know. Maybe that's just switching because it's like exactly like 4:15 and like right there. Ready? See? You hear that like it's like exactly at the 4:15 and 00 seconds. It does that little like something closing again. Right there. So I think that's something with the camera itself. So anytime that you're hearing that at remember it's like 00 seconds. I Let's see if it happens at the next one. Okay, that sounded like a door to me. Again, right here, right there. What do you guys think about that sound? Now that we've been like, this is why I would just be like, if we had the time of when Kaylee and Maddie are coming home with Eric, because then we know that car passes up and it has to stop like right either in front of their house, right in the driveway. But we're able to then hear what it sounds like when like a door's opening or a door's closing, something. Or but I would love to see that little, because then we can listen for that. We can hear how it would sound when, but I'm gonna play that again. Okay, so right there we get two dog barks. And to be able to hear that, the slider would have to be open. Okay? In my opinion. Let's do that again. 4:16 and 51 seconds here. Right there, dog. So 4:16. Okay. So what do you think the difference is from the 4:16 and 45 second? What I think are two barks. And then we just heard that last one, which was a lot larger, like a lot larger, like larger or louder, or what do you guys think? I need people to throw me some thoughts about the difference between the 4:16 and some change to compare to the 4:17 and 15 seconds. Also, are we thinking that the slider is open? Oh my god. Oh my god. Right there, hear that like that double thud. This right here. That right there. After the barking, you hear like that little. I want to know what the if you were standing, or if the dog was up top on the balcony, um, barking out on top of the balcony part, like the actual where Kaylee's room is, being out there. What type of like, how everything would like kind of like echo more out, barking towards the back. I wonder if that's a difference between barking there and barking outside, um, by the backslider, or on the first level by the front door. So, wouldn't you want a dog to bark right by the front door, right? Then have the dog barking out back by the slider, and then up top by Kaylee's room. Something that's always struck me as odd is Dylan saying that basically, um, she didn't know how the person got in. And that always struck me as odd. Like, it was like going in like the front door or the slider was not an option for something. Like, what do you mean? It was almost like that person already had like been there, or that person had to come in from being on the third floor, because I was in the living room the whole time, and nobody came, like that type of thing where it's like, nobody came through the black, like the glass slider or the front door because of where you were. It's always something that I thought was weird, is her perception of like that I would have seen the person if they would have come in one of those two ways. It's always how I've taken it. And then even making mention about like, why'd they go, about the way that they left. Like, why didn't they just leave out the front door? Very bizarre. But okay, so remember in the probable cause, it was said that their belief was that at 4:17, it was somebody in basically Xana's room falling down. Like that's what the thud would have been. Now we know that it wasn't Ethan, because Ethan was in the bed. But that thud inside the house, that's what that thud was. It was inside the house and it's, again, wouldn't that be something that you would have tested? Like, I don't know. I would just think that you would. Just to hear how you take anything, take a, I don't know, 90 pounds of rubber dumbbells, put them in a bag, and drop it down to the ground, you know, just to see what it would sound like. Do something. I mean, this is what they fucking do for a living, right? Um, but all right there. So I'm gonna go back to 417 exact. Wait. Okay, so then right now, Bethany calls Dylan. Right now, Bethany calls Dylan. And I believe it's to say, what the fuck, why is Murphy barking? But what I kind of don't wonder is, why are you calling Dylan about Murphy barking? I'd be calling Kaylee or Maddie. That, you know what I mean? It's not Dylan's dog. It's Maddie. I mean, it's Kaylee's dog, right? So Bethany calls Dylan here. This is the timestamp of 14 or 4:19 and 7 seconds. She calls um so that's the timeline right there. Okay, remember I want you guys to look over here. Now it's about to be 4:20. Look over here to the right hand side, upper right underneath the 4 and the 19. Look at the lights that come on over there. Those are lights from a vehicle that are in the parking lot across from that. And now another phone call will be had between now Dylan calls Bethany back. And between Dylan calling Bethany back, she says that she opens up her door, calls out a couple times, texts, but none of that makes sense in that time frame. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. There is no turning on the vehicle. Like, did you guys hear a car start? Did you guys hear the ignition start? Okay, so do you remember when at whatever time it was, and they leave to get in the white car that's right across the street? Like any of these cars starting, like the ignition's not starting, nothing. That car was not started. It was running. That's what it sounds like to me, is that this car was, I mean, would we hear a car start? I don't know. We hear the car start right in front of us, but obviously it's like right in front of us, but now that's speeding out of there. Why is Murphy not barking right now? Now Murphy's back to barking. Okay, now they think that this is from the balcony sliding door open. Why can't it be from the front door being wide open? The front door is way closer than the balcony slider. And same thing with the balcony, the rooftop one, the upstairs one. Now it's 4:22 and 42 seconds. If you go by their phone records, and what's going on here is Dylan's still upstairs and Bethany's downstairs. In fact, let me bring up Bethany and Dylan's phone side by side. Okay, so time does it say? Okay, so 4:22. Bethany phone called Maddie. 4:22. Bethany phone called Ethan. 4:22 and 42 seconds. DM texted Kaylee. 4:22 and 43 seconds. DM texted Kaylee and she was saying, you know, Kaylee, what's going on? Now that 4:22 and 8 seconds. No one is answering. I'm really confused. Never once in any of these text messages does either one of them say, why is Murphy barking like crazy? I think that's the first thing that I would be texting is, why is Murphy barking like crazy? Why is Murphy going crazy? Why is Murphy barking? Tell me that that would not be in one of your text messages. Tell me. God, it's the first thing when my neighbor's dog, I'm just like, what the hell is her dog barking for? Like, get off your ass. Get your fucking dog, man. I can hear it in my bedroom, sleeping, and you wake me up, and it's loud. Imagine how loud it is, and then the first thing I say is like, God, she's a terrible dog owner. So, in not one text, is there anything about Murphy? It's almost like not there to know to like mention Murphy. That's all that it seems like to me is. And then here, what time? Okay, so all of that. So 4:23. Then this is the text that's going on. 4:23 and 15 seconds. DM received a text message from Bethany. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? DM received another text message from Bethany. 13 seconds later, Xana was wearing all black. Then DM sent a text message to Bethany at 4:23 and 33 seconds. I'm freaking out right now. Then DM texts Bethany at 4:23 and 42 seconds. No, it's like ski mask almost. Okay. And what I'm trying to say is, like, at that point, the person in the car that's supposedly the killer that drove away, to be texting that, then that person's like, I mean, if these are happening in real time, then the person in the car that drove away, this would have been like right after you would have seen him, that you just encountered the masked man. 4:23 and 48 seconds. DM received text message from Bethany. Shut the fuck up, or STFU. Then DM received another text message from Bethany at 4:23 and 51 seconds. Actually. Then DM text Bethany like he had something over his forehead. Let's see. We're at 4:24. Okay. 4:24. So we got to wait some seconds here. So this is then in the house. Here's the 30 seconds of that I told you. Okay, and then the cops lie about that car right there. Then the cops say that that car belonged to some girl that came home to pet her cats while she was at work. It's that car never even came there. Like, do you understand that car, if that's what they're saying, it's that she would have, the only way that's remotely possible is if she was the three No, it's actually not possible because that car that leaves, that car hasn't, that car was there the whole night. Like it didn't just come home from work. So then they make something up about that vehicle. Okay. Now, hang tight. We're at 4:24 and 21 seconds. Let me go to these text messages. 4:24. So think about this, dog's barking crazy. Like he had a mask over his forehead. Bethany, I'm not kidding. I am so freaked out. Then DM received a text message from Bethany. So am I. That was at 4:24 and 7 seconds. 4:24 and 11 seconds. DM sent text to Bethany. Phone is going to die. Fuck. 4:24 and 14 seconds. Bethany says to DM, come to my room. Run. Down here. And that was at 4:24 and 40 and 27 seconds. But that doesn't happen yet. Then, where are we at here? 4:24 and 21 seconds. Okay, well, let's more play. Now remember, DM says that she looks out her or Bethany's bedroom window and she sees a vehicle. She thought it was a truck with its running lights on. Okay. She thought it was a truck with its running lights on. And now, again, and she saw this, she says, when she got to Bethany's room, she looked out the window. Okay. And that's when she saw that. No mention to either of them. 4:24 and 46 seconds. So now we're at 4:24 and 58 seconds. DM sent a text to BF, but before that, she calls Ethan. Right now, she's calling Ethan at 4:24 and 39 seconds. I'd be blowing up Kaylee because I'd be like, why is Murphy going crazy? 4:24 and 58 seconds. DM sends a text to Bethany saying, I'm so scared right now. DM received a text message from Bethany at 4:25 and 16 seconds, and she says, it's better than being alone. So we'll get to that point. Okay, then at 4:25 and 16 seconds. Now, beginning at 4:25 and 16 seconds to 4:27 11 seconds, there's going to be a 2-minute gap here on well, I'm sorry, Bethany's phone. There's nothing. Bethany's phone doesn't do anything from 4:24 and 27 seconds. She's just receiving, text message or whatever. But there's a 4-minute gap here, and the 2 minutes begins right now, 4:25 and 16 seconds to 4:27 and 11 seconds. So Bethany's phone is for 2 minutes, and Dylan's phone. Let me make sure. Yeah, Bethany's phone is for 4 minutes straight. She does not text, call, nothing from 4:25 and 16 seconds until 4:29 a.m. And Dylan, hers is just a straight non-doing anything from 4:25 and 16 seconds to 4:27 and 11 seconds. So this is when I think they go out, like if they're in this house at this time, I believe after she like runs down that they do like their little like go checking it out type of thing, because neither one of their phones at the same exact time, neither one of them is doing anything. That's why I was waiting to see this trial to see what else would come from that. So right here, 425. So I'm going to back it up so you can see. Like, can you just imagine? Like, okay, I would be on my phone. Like, I wouldn't be texting you. I'd be like on my like, dude. But nobody's talking about the dog at all. That's like the first thing I'd be saying. Like, why is Murphy barking like this? Like, where's Kaylee? Or if I'm Bethany, I'd be like, wait, Maddie was telling me that the dog was lost before. Just none of these stories make any sense. Like your human nature, like why is the dog barking? No text about the dog at all. None. But here, right now, the 2 minutes. Hear that? What's that? Right there. Okay, remember, this is during my time frame of I'm like, neither one of them are doing any texting to each other. What's that? What was that? Is that someone closing the slider? Is that like, what is that? That is something. Sounds like a sniff, but what's that? That right there. Okay, 4:26 and 47 seconds. Again, neither one of them are doing anything with their phones. No texting, no calling, doing anything with anybody. Listen to the dog bark here, where it like does it's like a snapping, like 4 or 5 in a row. Okay, right there. There's like a little sound right after this first bark. Then there's like, I don't know if it's like, just listen between the first bark and then when the dog does a bunch of barks in a row. It's like a humans by the dog. No joke. See, like there's noises right before then the dog goes 5 barks. Okay, so then let's go back to the text messages because we're right here at 4:27 and 29 seconds. So at 4:27 and 11 seconds, DM makes an outgoing call. Okay, And so I'm gonna roll back just a tad. Now this is DM. So again, still Bethany doesn't use her phone at all until 4:29 a.m. So DM makes this outgoing call at 4:27 and 11 seconds. So I just want to back up to 4:27:11. Again, they're saying if this is accurate, but anything that's in and around that 4:27:11 seconds. So 4:27. Here we go. See that? But go right there. So we hear that little voice, and then we hear the doggo. And now look at that's at 4:26 and 54 seconds. Guess what Dylan does? Literally, what she's going to do right after that little encounter. If she's in this house, she's making a phone call now. All right, let's see how long she's on the phone for. DM outgoing. Then at 4:27 and 30 seconds, DM outgoing snap. 4:27 and 40 seconds, DM outgoing Snapchat. DM calls Kaylee at 4:27 and 47 seconds. So here, right here, she's about to do an outgoing snap. Right. Okay, right there. What was that noise? Then, because right here, this is her calling Kaylee. But listen right here before she presses send. Right, right there. That's a door. It's a fucking door. At the same exact time that you're gonna be calling Kaylee, okay? There's a door that opens and closes. It's money, right? Right there. When you line up all of the stuff, like what's going on all simultaneously, like, so let's see. Then you go to, okay, so 4:27 and 40 seconds. Then there was 4:27, 47 seconds. DM calls Kaylee. Then there's no activity on the phone for a minute. Okay. And then 4:28 and 44 seconds, DM calls Santa. So let's see what goes on here for this minute. Look at that. Right at the time that she's going to call. Right there, door. Oh, right there. Do you hear that little extra bark right there? Is that did you guys hear that little bark, that little extra one right there? I'm gonna back it up. But that's a different type of a dog right there. That little like that. It's like a Molly. It's like a Molly motherfucking dog. All right. You guys thought we needed like the dog whisperer in the Karen Reed case? No. We need the dog whisperer right here. Because that sounds like a different dog to me, right there at the end. Right there. Now DM's making a phone call. Dogs are going nuts. And she's about to call. Hear that one? It's unless it's a weird echo. Okay, so then check this out though. This guy's about to come home at 4:30 supposedly, so he's not there yet. So it's awesome that we cannot say that it's the guy that comes home at 4:30 who goes to like then walk his dog. That's what he is going That's what the police end up in January after the arrest of Brian Kober. They write up a report that they find the guy that comes at 4:30, and he parks his car and it's next to the side of the house. And then this guy, he was over at one of the fraternity houses. He was playing video games and he comes home and he goes inside and he has to like take his dog, out for like a little walk and to use the restroom. And yeah, and so we can rule out that those two dogs right here couldn't have been, it can't be him. All right, I don't know if the state never thought that somebody would like break all this down, but it's absolutely wild. Because anybody that does break it down, it would just blow up. The timeline is just not accurate. That's completely different. That's sounding now. Sounds like it's further away from us, which means it's like in the backyard almost. Before it was like in the front. Okay. There's some. All right, so where we at? 4:29 and 16 seconds. Let's see what we got on this. 4:29. Okay. So then DM will not use her phone from 4:28 and 44 seconds all the way until 4:32 and 57 seconds. This is why I believe I don't believe that the state and Ann Taylor, when they're trying to say like the state and Ann Taylor think that DM is in the bedroom by 4:27, 11 seconds. I don't think it happens till 4:28 and 44 seconds, but here at 4:29 a.m., BF then does just like back to back. So she calls Maddie at 4:29. Then she calls Maddie again at 4:30. Then she calls Kaylee right after that, and then Kaylee at 4:31. And it's interesting because with Bethany's phone and her records, everything to do with her phone records are coming from her actual, like, it's not like a cell right dump. It's it's from like her call history. Anyway, so 4:29, 4:30, and there's another one 4:30 and then 4:31. But Dylan doesn't do anything for at least right now that what we have from 4:28 and 44 seconds to 4:32 and 57 seconds. And then, but the dog, Murphy's going nuts. I don't know how anybody can just go to sleep. We just went to sleep. We just said, hey, we really didn't talk when she got down to the room. And then we were so out of it. We just went to sleep. So Murphy wakes you up at 4:19. Murphy's still barking like crazy. Okay. And it's 4:30. So 11 minutes. Right? Not, I mean, and now Murphy doesn't have a speck. Murphy's not in any of the blood. Murphy just stood by the door. Murphy somehow didn't like run off and get lost. Murphy didn't go to like Jack D's or anything like that. Now, we have the other times we can go past that. But I think you guys get the gist here, because Murphy continues to bark all the way until 4:47. That's another 27 minutes. 27 minutes and nobody, like nothing. What do you guys think? One dog, two dogs? Do you think the dog's moving in different parts of the house? Obviously, is the front door open? What do you think about those little? I mean, we hear it clear as day. There's a door being opened or closed, rather. If they didn't go out there, remember, if the front door was open or the slide, I remember Dylan's given a couple different versions of the story, which is I have no idea if the slider was open because I just booked it down. To what she told Emily was that when I heard the slider close, that's when I made a run for it. Okay, so again, I just wanted to compare this to the sounds again with the other footage that we now have. So what it sounds like, and we're not able to hear into people's houses with this camera. It's clear as day that all of the sounds that would be coming from this camera is stuff where the people are outside. I don't believe for a second that the body of anybody is the thud at 417. Absolutely not. Because the number one reason I don't believe that is because we cannot hear anything that is going on in this house. The house that actually has the camera. And like when these people are going outside, when they're about to leave, like if you can't hear stuff that's coming in from your own house, how can you hear what's going on in somebody else's inside their house? That's just absolutely like, I would never believe that. And I can't believe that they were going to try to sell that to the jury. They were going to try to sell that at 417. That was Xana falling down. I don't know how. I don't know, but that's what they were going to sell to the jury. So, with that said, Mama J, next you should line up the interviews from the neighborhood canvas to the text and footage. Oh yes, I'm going to be doing all of that. There was a couple neighbors that were adamant that they woke up from the dog barking, and what's crazy is the one neighbor knew the exact time to say at 4:17. I mean, come on, man. And it was until, I just think that that's crazy. But hey, if they're all friends and they're sharing that, it seems like they're sharing this footage was going around. Turkey Creek gal, what's good? Donna, how could Kaylee be running up and down the stairs but asleep in her bed at the same time it happened? That's because I believe what Dylan is talking about, that would be at like 2:52, like at 2:47, like at 2:30. Especially if Kaylee's phone's not moving anymore. If she's saying that she's adamant that she heard, Murphy and Kaylee go upstairs, I think she was referring to, earlier in the night. And then it was, okay, so they went to bed, so I went to bed type of thing. That's what I believe. I believe that when she's, all they had to do, if you would truly think about it, it's according to Dylan, she didn't even know that those like text messages existed. When she's talking to Blaker and Home Check in her interview, she's like, I just know that it happened because I have these text messages. But it's like, you don't remember making those text messages? Like, she doesn't remember it. She's like, I mean, but like I have these, and I have a picture like Kaylee, like they were home from, and we're talking about like, grub truck or whatever, because you have these pictures in your phone. That's what she says to the detectives. And it's like, you have no recollection of this though. So somebody could have actually just had your phone and been typing, you know, but then you wake up and she's like, yeah, when I woke, she's like, I woke up and I was in Bethany's bed. Okay. And those other people that went to the hotel that were friends of theirs, they're like, they thought that it was all strange because these people wouldn't have been out of it. They weren't drinking like that. They weren't in, they weren't on some like, that's what they told the detectives, the investigators, that it didn't make any sense to them when they're talking about, meaning Bethany and Dylan. They're talking about this level of intoxication or like I was out of it. And if you're going to be blaming anything on drinking, like that just wasn't the case. So I thought that was interesting. Great to still be here. Jackie, thank you so much. Vanessa, thank you so much. Dawn, what's good? Thanks for your dedication and hard work. Thank you so much. Vanessa, getting us over the, I count all of those too, just so you know. I have my own ticker back here. We have 37 of them. B Randy, what's good? Okay, guys. 4 more. We got it. We got the target. I'm gonna play you guys some stuff to show you guys. I said if we got our goal, I'm gonna show you guys some behind the scenes stuff that I've been working on. Green banana 7766. So we got our target. I'm gonna show you guys that. Let's do this. Carson, what's good, girl? I got something for you. I'm gonna I'll text you later when I get done. Green bananas. I always love that name right there. Oh yeah, bug around and Lana will find out. Yeah, you guys. Moscow told me today that my paper was going to take another 3 weeks. I about fell out of my chair. I said, "What are you fucking talking about? You told me this would be like a couple days last time I talked to you. What are you talking, dude? This is a couple pieces of paper with the dog's paperwork. Okay, I am like, I don't even have words. I'm like, this is insane. Like that would take you 2 seconds. I'm sorry, but we have this list here. You know what? I have to wait like a week because you're working on like redacting videos that are like hours. Like, come on. Like, this is a very important piece of paper. You guys, Murphy never checked. Murphy just hauled up out of there. Never checked to see if like there was any blood on Murphy. You know, nothing. Like, what are you doing? Like, where's your brains? Murphy could have had like, especially after you like, I don't know, man. Like, when did Idaho State Police even know that there was a dog there that night? When do you think that got like actually like put into like the debriefing? Like, hey guys, okay, so like, that should have been like day one. You know how I know that? Because every single person named Dylan and Bethany talked about the dog in their interviews at Moscow Police Department on 11/13. And then they talked about the dog to Mitch Noonan's. Like, I mean, then they see the dog walking out. And then Dylan's over here like, I have no idea where they found the dog because the dog wasn't, basically alluding to the fact that I have no idea how they found the dog. What, Dylan? What are you talking about? Woo, 10 memberships. Get it, girl. Get it, Bridget. What's good? How you doing? How's PA doing? B Randy, 10 more to go. Woo! Thank you. Have you guys got green colors tonight to turn alien? Thank these lovely people that are like, you know what? Let's get some memberships going. Member for 29 months. That's a long time. It's been flying by though. Molly was a raceway driver moving way too fast. Had a plan to start some trouble, then caught me. Yeah. I just think that the vehicle that Molly says that she left in doesn't even seem like it's like snail trail going out of there. Vanessa, I agree though. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, Murky, what's good, Merks? It's weird because one of those voices heard talking earlier sounds like Molly, saying meh. Molly's like meh, which also is saying meh. Kara has. Yeah. I know she isn't there. X may sound like her mom. I just don't think that you could sell a jury that anything, all the sounds come from people that are outside in some capacity, like getting out of a car, they're outside, walking outside from inside. But we cannot hear anything that's going on in people's homes from this camera. And I just think that's that's what I would take away. And I think that if I was deliberating with people and I was back in that room and they were trying to tell me that those sounds are from inside houses, my argument to that would be, oh, really? Well, then how come we don't hear the sounds inside the house that actually has the camera? You fucking idiots. And I think as soon as I made that comment, so politely though, that everybody would be like, good point. We don't hear anything coming from that house. And I would just say, like, fast forward to where those girls are walking out. But Ann Taylor would have to, like, play that for the jury so that they can, like, have that argument. She'd have to play that point in time when, and then I think that they just redacted everything to do with from 11 to noon. I would love to know if we get to hear all that audio. I also would like to hear and see from the standpoint of, we see it from the body camera angle when they're dealing with the cops. So when we get to see the standpoint of, like, does the camera show when the cops actually come up and they're having that conversation right there? I'll take number 3. Woo woo. Yeah. Be Randy. Let's fucking go. 18 months. Look out. And all the new peeps. All right. I think we got everybody. You guys rock. I think somebody just added on in there at the end. Welcome, Rockstar, NDR, Michelle F. Elf. Is that what this says? Dude, I hate the new way that we're doing this. I just like your guys' regular names. I don't know how it gets back to that, but can we get back to that? Jax the Ant says she believes there is a cover-up. Well, where's that at? I haven't seen that. I would like to see that, though. I would like to see where she says that. I think that 1,000% they can piss off by saying the 356 car that circles around and leaves at 358. That is not the same car. That the other vehicles are doing that. I think Molly's full of shit. And then again, thank you so much, Heather in the Cash App. Whoop, whoop. And then Robin, you guys fucking rock. Heather from PA. I love it. Pennsylvania, baby. Okay, so I said we make the goal, we get a little behind the scenes ready. So I don't know who's been following my work, but I'm very adamant about, like, there is no trolling, there is no ruining people's lives, there's no going real life on people. I'm always warning people, like, hey, don't be getting in any Facebook groups. Okay. A lot of people that are new to, like, true crime, or they, like, get hooked on a case and then they join Facebook groups and then they're, like, in these groups to talk about, the case. But the next thing you know, it's like professional trolls up in that motherfucker. And these are people with fake account names. They lie about who they are, where they live, all this crazy ass shit. Okay. Yeah, there you do. You do have your original name. Been a minute, Becca, been about to lean on it. So really big about that. That it's just I'm always like big, like, be very careful. Be very careful. Hey. Are you listening to Truth and Transparency? All right. Yes. Okay. So we go through 314 pages in the Brian Kohler case with the with MPD. Then we go through all the reports with Idaho State Police. Not a single one references any person being interviewed. Okay. that is Papa Rogers. Yet Danny Vargas is putting in the searches to like run checks on people searching things from any of the victims' phones or like the surviving roommates. Papa Rogers was one of the names. Okay. But yet there is like, dude, this is the police. Like, this is the fucking FBI. You're telling me that you guys can't find no fucking IP addresses and know who the hell Papa Rogers is? Come on. Yes, they do. Okay. So much so that you would be able to subpoena some shit. Like, that's easy peasy. But yet, I'm just letting you know that if that happened, and you would be thinking that if I'm Ann Taylor, I'd be wanting to ask about that. But I can tell you that the Moscow Police Department nor the Idaho State Police were the ones that had anything to do with that. So that would have been federal, which makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to play you guys a little something. Because this is just sick. Let me give it. Is this it? Okay. Oh. Okay, let me take this down. How many people watched the Karen Reed case, and how many people had a problem with Trooper Proctor, Karen Reed, and the to go off yourself, go kill yourself. Remember that? Karen Reed, Proctor, go kill yourself. How many people thought that was absolutely ridiculous? Right? Everybody's probably seen it. Probably thinks it's absolutely fucking crazy, right? There you go. Eric's like, Proctor's a douchebag. Yes, right? Amy, of course I know you, Amy Lou Who. All right, so crazy type shit, right? I have a huge problem with it, right? Oh yeah, where's my girl Meg P? Is Meg P in here? My little Megster? All right, so. Well, I have a huge problem with that type of shit. So much so that I have a huge problem with hypocrisy as well. And where is this shit at? And if you guys remember when Proctor was on the stand, and I can show you this little clip, because I think we all remember it too well, but Proctor's talking about like it was a private chat, and it was just in jest. It was like, it was just like a figure of speech, and Karen gives him like the craziest look, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Well, yeah.
And where did you get the record? Him talking to you over the phone or in person?
He does these online shows where he talks to his audience.
Well, this is a complaint for intimidation of a witness.
Yes.
So whatever he said after on his blog.
Well, it's him admitting to intimidating me before the hearing. That's the reason why I think it's relevant, is because I think in here he goes, oh, there he is, the dog killing, woman beater, piece of shit. And he's like, I wanted to say it to his face for so long. And he was like, or actually started by saying, it was wonderful that there was nobody in the hallway because it made it so that I could say whatever I wanted to him.
Yes, I said whatever I wanted. Here he plays the live show, and then he can't figure out how to do it. He chokes. Is that perjury that he didn't kill himself?
Right, and that is what I yesterday. Court was right.
He is still appealing it.
Day that Mr. Carney and you allegedly were in the hallway before the hearing. I don't find that calling someone a bitch boy, dog killing, woman beater, piece of SHIT was in any way to intimidate you from not going forward with your complaint. Okay, I don't find that you're intimidated, Mr. Waters. I find that you just don't like the things Mr. Carney says about you, and that it doesn't meet the elements of intimidation of a witness.
Nope.
So eventually, Mr. Waters, you got to just let this saga end.
Let it go.
Stop filing criminal complaints.
Stop.
He lives in Worcester County. You live here. You have no reason to see each other. You have no reason to interact with them. So I don't know how these are criminal matters. If there's civil issues, that's different. Mr. Carney, I'll just say this.
He has to say
might have
something
some
to me.
First Amendment rights on the blog, but just going forward, when you see people in person, you don't have as quite the protection in First Amendment rights. Words, there's fighting words and things like that you kind of lose your First Amendment protection.
Yeah, I don't
words
do
you
that,
have a little bit more. So
yeah, he just had to throw something
I'm
in
not
there.
going to issue a criminal complaint, Mr. Carney. Mr. Waters just doesn't rise to the level. I understand you don't like my decision. You're raising your hand.
He's
I
raising his
understand
hand.
that, but it doesn't meet the elements of intimidation of the witness. He never mentioned the case that day. He called you names. Calling someone names is not a criminal offense.
No.
So
He's screaming at me in the hallway. He's spit, and also it's seriously alarming. How is that not seriously alarming? That's harassment. It ends up, intimidation of witness includes harassment. And that
it has to be in furtherance of obstructing or intimidating a person to not go through with a criminal proceeding. He called your names out in the hallway. If we had criminal complaints for every time that happens in these hearings, people calling each other names out there, and the hearing went forward. You had your hearing, and you were heard. He was heard, and the case didn't go anywhere. It just doesn't rise to the level of intimidation of witness. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But it's not intimidation of witness, Mr. Waters. Okay, so no probable cause will issue. Okay, gentlemen, hopefully we don't have to see you back here.
Well, he's going to do it again. What happens then? I'm doing a redecision, obviously.
Redecision.
What is this our end, or is he just going to keep doing this forever?
I don't know, Mr. Crane. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you just
I want nothing more for
go back to Worcester, and if you don't see him, nothing else can happen here. I don't know.
I never see him.
You're not in Springfield or in
I want nothing
County.
more than to be left alone. Well, the reason, one more thing, I guess, is like the reason he said that I was commenting. The reason why I was commenting is because he was harassing me. On a weekly basis, he posts something and he harasses me on a weekly basis. And so that was the reason, the only times I commented was when he was harassing me. So it's just, so obviously I'm not, and he also, I guess I didn't get into it on this one, but he said that he's intentionally preventing me from working. So that's the thing is I can't work because of him. So the thing is I'm going to commit suicide in 2 months if I don't figure out something. Yes, I'll go to get a decision started and
do it. Okay, I got to play that part again. Come on, do it again. You won't.
He's intentionally preventing me from working.
He's intentionally preventing me from working. This is what he loves to say. I can't get a job because of Aiden Carney because he wrote a blog about me fucking 3 years ago about my, my arrest for, beating the shit out of my girlfriend. And
he just laugh about somebody that's talking about committing suicide.
Killing my dog. He's being mean to me. You can't get a job. Bitch, you weren't going to get a job anyway. Your ass don't work. What you talk about, Ryan? Here we go.
So that's the thing is I can't work because of him. So the thing is
well, at the same time, remember all his messages about it? He's like, hundreds of thousands. Oh, no. He's so full of shit, this guy. He's so full of shit. I got to play that part again. Though.
Yeah, no, I'm going to commit suicide if I don't figure out something. But
one more time.
I'll go to get a decision started. And
he's crying.
Sorry.
All right, good luck.
One more time.
Working. So that's the thing is I can't work because of him. So the thing is I'm going to commit suicide in 2 months if I don't figure out something. But yes, I'll go to get a decision started. And
dog. He was very cocky about it. And he thinks he's like a genius. He thinks the The charges were dropped against him because so we got away with that. You got it blogged about him, and he represents himself pro se because he has nothing to do. So I had to hire an attorney. We got the lawsuit dismissed in summary judgment over a year ago, and he is still appealing it. So that's still going on. It's going to cost me a few more grand to get rid of that, I'm sure. We won't get any of it back, of course. I wish I had qualified immunity. But in the meantime, he's also gone a different route and tried to get criminal complaints against me several times. I don't even remember what some of them are for. I've been to like a few of these with him. I've been to two of them with him. And I had to drive out to Hampden District Court in Springfield and explain why I didn't do anything wrong to this gentleman. And the most recent one he tried to get me on was witness intimidation. And when you do this, you go in front of a clerk, not a judge. And a clerk magistrate decides whether or not there is enough there to bring it to, an actual judge. And of course there isn't, because the bar is extremely high. So I got the tape finally. I don't know why. They just emailed it to me today. I asked for this months ago. I thought I'd never get it. They just emailed it to me today. I'm like, sweet. So here it is. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll go back and play some highlights. But at the end of this, when Ryan gets told that there will be they're not finding in his favor, he threatens to kill himself. And I said he was going to kill himself in 2 weeks, he said. No, it was 2 months, he said. So it was actually 2 months. So I got that one wrong. 2 months he had to kill himself. He'd never followed through, sadly. Never followed through. That one wrong. 2 months he had to kill himself. He'd never followed through, sadly.
Sadly, he would never follow
I got that one wrong. 2 months.
All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. Stay tuned behind the scenes. Until the next one.